Hello, we're back here with Chemicals Knowledge Hub TV. My name's David McClellan. This is your one-stop shop for industry insight and analysis. Joining me now is Dan Marr from Airedale Chemical. Dan, thank you very much for joining us today. Exciting times for Airedale by the sounds of it, new products, new markets and so on. Just give me a brief overview, first of all, about what Airedale Chemical is, what it does and who it does it for.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. So we're an independent chemical company. We've been operating since 1973 in the chemical industry, but we actually began our journey in the dye industry. The company was set up by Brian Chadwick. He mixed dyes in his garage, so it was a very unglamorous start to our life. As time went on throughout the 90s, obviously the dye industry had a bit of a downfall. It became quite a tough market. So the company began its first diversification into the chemical industry through trading chemicals. As time went on throughout the noughties, we began manufacturing. And to this day now, we manufacture 40% of the products that we sell. And we've grown our offering into multiple companies, such as metal treatment, food ingredients, and small pack filling. So diversification has been a massive part of our journey, really.
Yeah, and in terms of that diversification and new products that you're looking to bring to market, what is your strategy there at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, our strategy for new products is it's really mitigating risk for the business. Going forward, we're wanting to expand our offering into more added value product that we can obviously sell to our existing customers, but we'll also open up new markets. So the history of the company, as I said, is in dyes, and then it's moved on into high volume commodity chemicals, which we've done very well in. But we see a future in more specialist chemical offerings, products in more niche applications, functional industrial use, and that really stems from just seeing more opportunities in higher margin products. So that drives our new product development process going forward. And obviously we'll do that through traditional NPD, or we'll look at potential acquisitions. All of these things we hope will provide us a good future.
Yeah, sounds promising. In terms of the markets that you're operating in, you talk about expanding your product portfolio and looking at good margin areas to move into. Are you exploring different markets in which you might be able to sell those products to as well?
Yeah, the type of markets that we're looking at, it's always driven by product ultimately, and we're very strong in particular markets currently as a group: water treatment, detergent, textiles, and they're the real sort of foundation for the business. And obviously, new product development would ultimately look to drive more volume into those areas because we have an existing customer base. But we are looking at new markets, and that'll be driven really by current demand. Obviously, we've been through 12 months of a pandemic, and that in itself has presented just additional opportunities for the chemical industry. We've developed more disinfectants, for instance, because there is more demand for that. Hand sanitization products obviously have been highly used throughout the last 12 months, and again we've explored that area. So it's a mix of really looking at where can we house current products in our existing customers, but also where's the demand, where's the growth areas.
And in terms of your response to the pandemic over the last 12 months, and we've seen elsewhere in the industry how many parties have been able to turn their hands to meet the demand. You mentioned their sanitization products, hand sanitizer, and so on. You've successfully been able to do that. Well, what kind of challenges have you faced as a business? And in terms of how that set you up for the future. Has the pandemic created maybe some new opportunities or some new products or markets that you see as being part of the future when the pandemic is hopefully very distant in our memories?
I think, like a lot of companies, we've had to pivot throughout this 12 months. There's certain industries that have suffered quite badly for us as a company. The hospitality industry has been well publicised, and industry is closely linked to the leisure industry as well. So with that, we've had to explore other areas, and it has presented some opportunities. Like I said, disinfection products are, the demand has just gone sky high throughout the last 12 months, and it's been crucial for us as a company to act very quickly in terms of bringing new products to market, whether they're products that we've developed ourselves or whether they're simply products that we're trading in. But I think the ability of a company like ourselves, being the size we are, it does give us that ability to move very quickly into new products, and, as I say, pivot when we need to do.
Well, fingers crossed, it won't be very long before the hospitality industry is able to spin up again. That's going to be good news for, well, everyone who works in the hospitality industry, as well as those like yourselves that help to supply it and keep it running as well. Outside of that, do you have any vision, any new opportunities in terms of how you see the medium-term future for Airedale? Are there any other areas that you're looking to expand into, to consolidate in, or maybe have some aspirations to go further towards?
Yeah, one of the companies that we've recently purchased is called Airedale, and that company operates in the metal surface treatment industry. And I think that kind of emphasises the kind of industries that we want to move into. So we see some significant growth in that market. It's quite niche, but also it's promoting UK manufacturing as well, which obviously we're trying to really beat the drum about. So I think through acquisitions we see additional market entry. That's key. And also, as Airedale Chemical is a sales-led company, we are very strong in terms of distributing products for manufacturers as well, and we see that as a good way of delivering new products to market and in turn increasing our revenue.
Before we go, I just want to touch on the sustainability piece, because manufacturing chemicals, I know this is an area where you've been making some strides to become more environmentally sustainable in your operations. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 2 years, we've gone through a shopping list really of items that will make our site more sustainable. Two projects that we've undergone the last year, for instance, we've moved to solar paneling now. So a vast majority of our energy on site is delivered through solar paneling. We installed a borehole as well towards the back end of last year. We're aiming to get up to 90% of all processed water on site through that borehole. And then we're moving on to other initiatives. We're going to be installing charge points for staff as well, as we move away from diesel petrol towards electric. So we've really pressed a lot of buttons in terms of sustainable projects, and we intend to continue that trend as well going forward.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly all for that. As a fully bought-in electric vehicle driver, the more electric vehicle charging points there are for my travels as well, the better. Listen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to hear your story, how you've been able to pivot. You've shown agility and looking forward to the future, whatever it has to throw at us. Thank you very much indeed for telling us your story, and I wish you all the very best for the future.